day has finally arrived, and I'll get to set sail on my own, with my own ship. I fought for this opportunity for so long, and now I can barely believe this day is here. I feel like a little child, filled with uncontrollable excitement. It'll be a long journey, and I'll miss my family, I know. But I've got to do this. I have to prove my worth, not just to my family, but to myself. I'll be shipping some goods to a large city for trade. I've never been there before, but it's rumored to be full of opportunity and wealth. At least I won't have to be there alone. My cousin, Kedar, has been trading in the city for a while, and I have some cargo for him. We used to play together when we were kids. I haven't seen him in so long, but he wants me to visit his new shop. I've missed Kedar. I look forward to this challenge, and I know that whatever may lay ahead, Linjala will watch over me, and I'll enjoy every minute of my adventure, even with the dangerous waters and approaching storms.
I don't understand, Malik. How can all of this help me? I just want to know who killed Kedar, and then get my ship and cargo back so I can go home. I never thought something like this would happen.
It isn't so simple as that, Saya. You will never again feel whole if you do not obtain vengeance for what was done to you and your cousin.
But it just doesn't seem quite right. I'm not a murderer or a thief. I can't just walk into a place and take information.
You'll learn how. I will teach you. Have you never killed a man?
Well, once. But it was a pirate trying to sneak off with our family's ship. He deserved his fate.
As your cousin's murderers deserve theirs. This is an unclean city, Zaya. The wicked and venomous thrive here, and you are but one in a line of many who have suffered at their hands.
I want revenge. Yes. But isn't there a simpler way?
There is no other way. Your cousin is dead. You cannot go home, and even if you could, you would shame your family by not exacting revenge. Kedar's blood stains your hands. But it is up to you. If you want to live with that burden, then it is yours. I cannot force you to take the revenge that belongs to you and you alone.
Yes, I will do it. I will take revenge. I promise you that, Kedar. I won't leave until I have it. I'll do whatever I have to. Kedar is dead. I am not. I'll make them pay for what they've done. This greedy, foul city will taste it too. It's amazing what skills one can learn in a year. Malik is a good teacher and has taught me many things, such as how to walk among the shadows, as he calls it. I've also honed my skill with a variety of weaponry, just in case I need to protect myself. Malik says since I've been training hard and with determination, he's decided to give me a little test. I'm supposed to sneak into a local museum that Malik says is relatively easy to get into. Though there are many things I could steal that might aid in my quest, Malik has reminded me that he is not a fence, and selling high-priced items would bring us even more unwanted attention. It's just as well. I'm not that confident in my abilities yet. My main target is this book. Apparently it's a fairly old book, which has a large deal of notes on the city buildings of its time. He didn't explain it much. He just said it was ideal for our plans to get revenge. I hope he'll explain more later. I have no reason not to trust him on this. I never thought I'd be piecing together a puzzle like this. At least Lime's office provided me with some more information. This is opening up old wounds. But I knew this day would come. Malak was training me to avenge Kedar. Smugglers.
Come on,
they have to be the ones that killed him. But why? What did he have that they didn't? I don't even know where they are. There's only one way to find out. I have to search the city market area and find Kedar's shop. Hopefully there will be a clue, or some kind of information I can use to find out who these smugglers are, and where they're hiding from me. There's a dusk to dawn curfew, so I'll need to avoid the city watch. Nevertheless, it's better if I go at night. Fewer stragglers around to notice my illegal entrance into Kedar's shop, and the surrounding areas. And they won't appreciate someone breaking into a store, even if there's a valid reason. There is a main gate to the district, but there's probably another way in, not to mention the sewers. The stench isn't something I look forward to. At any rate, I have no idea where Kedar's shop is, but I seem to recall him mentioning that it was in a building with some other shops. If what I've been able to gather is true, it will probably be somewhere on the east side of the district. Before he scurried away for the day, Malak gave me something he called an elemental catalyst. I'm not quite sure what it does, but he said it worked with the crystals on my arrows. I guess I'll figure it out as I go along. It's been a year, but I still feel a deep sorrow when I think of Kedar's death. It's going to be difficult to enter his shop, but I must. I've been avoiding thinking about where he would have taken me on that fateful day, but no more. It's time to begin. I found a few notes back at Kedar's place talking about a town called Sunnyport. Sounded like these smugglers have some sort of a base there. Malak tells me it's a town overlooking the coast, where all the nobility go to get away from the foul city air. Sounds a little odd calling them nobility, but I guess cream's not the only thing that rises to the top. Malak's about the only half-noble person I've met in this city. He says there's something called a steam carriage, which goes from the city to Sunnyport every day. He says it can pull 10 carriages as fast as a whole train of horses can pull one. I don't think he approves. I had a wander around the station today, but there are lots of areas out of bounds to the public, and you can't get near the carriage without a ticket. Tickets cost far more than I can afford right now. Today I'm going to find a way on board the train and follow the smugglers to their stop. Sounds easy, but by the looks of the decorations, there's quite a lot of money in that place. so I can expect it to be heavily guarded. I somehow doubt the smugglers will just invite me in, so I'll need a bit of money for equipment once I'm there. I suppose this is as good a place as any to get that. I didn't want to become a thief, but Malak says this is the only way, and I can't think of anything better. So, here goes. I ran away. Tonight, I stop running. Tonight, my retribution begins. It's been more than a year since Kedar. Since he died. They let me escape, and soon they'll pay for that mistake. I must have patience. I could try to kill as many of them as I could. I might even get 2 or 3 before they caught me. But that's not enough. In a month it would mean nothing. They don't care about each other. I've asked around a little. No one in this tourist trap seems to know anything about the smugglers on their doorstep. I wonder if I can use that. There are 2 things the thief fears: being robbed or getting caught robbing someone else. Hopefully, I can use both fears against the free traders during my stay. I met with an associate of Malak's here in Sunnyport this afternoon and bought everything I need. So tonight, I'm going to try and sneak into their base of operations and steal both their wealth and their secrecy. If what I've learned is true, the smugglers have a hideout somewhere in an underground cave system. I'll sneak into their base through the secret cave entrance I saw earlier and see what I can find. Kedar, forgive me for not doing anything before. Linjala, give me courage for what I must do now. The Hammerites. Apparently not very popular in the city, but it looks like they're the law here in Sunnyport. If there is any such thing as true law in this land of infidels. Some new group called the Mechanists seem to be running them out of the city recently, so the Hammers have retreated to some of these little out-of-the-way towns, like Sunnyport, where they appear to be thriving. These guys, however, seem to have been here for some time. I don't know or care much about these strange religions or their practices. But these Hammers may be just the thing to take care of my smuggler friends. They don't seem the type that would tolerate a slave trade or art smuggling in their happy little town. I tried to find a way into the rear compound, but it looks to be off limits to initiates. I'll just have to break in the front and see what I can find. I don't have a plan yet. But there's got to be some way to alert these fanatics to all the illegal activity going on under their ugly noses. If they catch sight of me, I'm dead. I get the feeling they don't tolerate visitors, especially foreign women. But I'd sure like to see them bring those heavy sledgehammers down on Kedar's murderers. These Hammerites, from what I can tell, are extremely fanatical and just as hypocritical. Apparently, these self-righteous gasbags are losing their foothold in the city. They seem to have quite a hold on Sunnyport, but I get the sense they're worried that what's happening in the city could happen here. They decided to store all of their precious junk where no sane person would think to look. In an old, abandoned mausoleum just outside of town. Out of sight, out of mind, as they say. However, the plan seems to be backfiring on them. Cavador dispatched Bishop Onum and some of his cronies a few weeks ago to try to find this orb of St. Basmus, and none of them have returned. It sounds like the place has become too fraught with undead for a head-on assault. I guess I can't blame them for trying. The Hammers believe the orb, if properly used, might give them power to overcome these mechanists and their machines. At least, that's the excuse that Cavador seems to have fed to Onum. Given that these two seem to be suspicious of one another, I wouldn't be surprised if the story was bogus. But that doesn't change the fact that I need to make it down there myself if I'm going to get the orb. If I can snag it, I should be able to use it to attract the Hammers to the smugglers without attracting attention to myself. I have to get in there quickly and get out even more quickly, else I might end up like Onum and the others. I'm not exactly sure what this orb does, but it seems to have suddenly become very important to a lot of people, especially me. First things first, I'll plant the orb in the smuggler's innocent little candy shop. Looks like a few of them have a sweet tooth tonight, so I may have to find another way in. Next, I'll sneak back to the Hammer Cathedral to leave a little anonymous note for Bishop Cavador. I scouted around earlier and found the secret entrance Onum was supposed to use. I can drop the note on his desk and be gone before I'm noticed. Once they discover the stolen orb, the Hammers will rip this town apart looking for Faradoc and his bunch. Even better, they'll blame the smugglers for the disappearance of Priest Onum and the others. I'd better get to work. The sooner I can get this done, the more assured I will be of revenge. I should be safe traveling through the town. The watchguards probably won't stop or question me along the way. But I can't afford to draw attention to myself, and I guess I'll have to be very careful not to be seen by any of the smugglers. I used to stand on the bow of my ship sometimes and stare across the water, imagining what new sights and experiences might await me in the city. I was so naive back then. A child. Soon, it will begin. The deception will be over, and Kadar avenged. I trust Cavador to get up early, so hopefully this mess will be over before anyone innocent gets hurt. I figure free traders would rather run like the cowards they are than fight. But if my deception works, then they're not going to have a chance. They have ships docked somewhere inside, and mine is among them from the way it sounds. I'll have to get a key from their shipping office safe to access the docks first. I can't wait to find it and get out of this evil place. It's as hollow as the people who inhabit it. I'll have to wait until the fight begins to get inside again, and I'll have to move quickly. If I wait too long, the Hammerites might claim some of the booty for themselves. The note in the Free Trader's vault mentioned Gorman Truitt, or Norman Druitt as he likes to call himself, frequenting a brothel in the city the second night of every week, carrying his diary. Apparently, it's filthy and cheap enough to ward off any rich nobles or influentials he might accidentally bump into. Even if any of these fat cats did see each other, they would pretend it never happened, at least until one was ready to blackmail the other. Unfortunately for Truitt, I'm not one of those fat cats. Truitt has really been cracking down on prostitution in the city, or so I've heard in my short time here. This means I should be able to find some means of exposing him and use it as leverage for information. I've got to find that book Neeson mentioned. If it's as detailed as Neeson said it would be, it should have some record of Kadar and what has become of him. I'll have to grab it before I'm noticed and then get out. The book should have some dirt on the good sheriff as well, but I think I've done enough exposing criminals for the time being. I couldn't care less about the morality of this corrupt city's leaders and politicians. I just want to find Kadar. Malak. My cousin has become a mechanist servant. He is some kind of slave now?
I am afraid he has become far worse than a mere slave, Zaya. Come. I will show you. This is the fate of all who would resist Truitt. He is an evil man, Zaya. I cannot stop him. But you are destined to rid the city of this abomination. I have foreseen it.
I must save Kadar, now that I know where he is. I can bring him here and we can remove the servant mask.
Yes, bring Kadar here. The mask means death for most, but with your skill, there may yet be a way to save him.
If there's even a chance, I have to try.
Then you must seek your revenge on Truitt. He must pay for this evil.
Let's help Kadar first. We can deal with Truitt later. Turns out that the book of maps I stole from the museum will come in handy after all. It had an old blueprint of the Grand Hotel where Kedar is being kept. Apparently the building is very old, but well maintained and considered a historical landmark of sorts. These days, it's owned by several of the city's richest citizens, including the illustrious Sheriff Truitt. From what I hear, he's probably the least dangerous of all the investors, mainly crime lords and higher-ups on the Mechanist's VIP list. Now that he's in a position of power, Truitt's playing with the big boys. I'll have to get inside and see if there are records for the servants in the hotel. The hotel seems to use a lot of them, and they all look the same. My only hope of locating Kedar is to find a record of when each servant was brought to the property, or interrogating someone who knows. The lobby is protected by 2 cameras, but it shouldn't be hard to find the disarm code lying around somewhere. After all, it's a hotel, not a bank. Once I find Kedar, I'll probably have to incapacitate him briefly until I can get him out. I anticipate that being the biggest problem, seeing how heavy he's probably going to be. Moloch has given me another piece of elemental crystal, so anyone who gets in my way will find themselves on the wrong end of an arrow. I've come so far. Kedar, you will be free soon. I carried Kedar back to Moloch's castle in the dead of night. After avoiding the tight security in the hotel, it felt almost too easy slipping past the guards. The sheriff really should be more careful. Kedar has regained consciousness, if that's the word. Sometimes I can catch a glimpse of my old cousin behind the metal mask, but most of the time he is changed, foreign to me. Moloch has been busy while I was away, gathering information. It's amazing how much he has dug up in such a short time. Turns out there still might be something I can do for Kedar. There is a cure, Moloch tells me, hidden in the bowels of a ruined hospital in a part of the city that lies behind the barricades. The old hospital was run by an order of healers from a faraway land, but when the barricades were erected by the Hammers in order to prevent the entire city from being overrun by undead, the hospital was closed off from the rest of the city, and has been inaccessible ever since. The healers, who served a deity called Amaris, possessed a powerful relic, a set of scales, which granted them the ability to cure even the most fatal disease, and, it is rumored, in some cases even to raise the dead. Moloch believes that these scales may help Kedar, so I must find them. Once inside, I must be prepared to deal with the undead. Moloch knows that the hospital is haunted, but he couldn't tell me more than that. But that doesn't change anything. I'll find the scales and get the hell out of there. I thought I'd never see Kedar again, and now I have a chance to save him. I must not fail him this time.
Your journey to the hospital was not in vain. You'll see. Grab the scales with both hands. Empty your mind of all things except that which you are trying to accomplish. Then state your intentions clearly, and the spirit of the artifact will do what needs to be done. Thought will be given substance, and desire made tangible. Tell it to stop his suffering. Look at him. Look what's been done to him. Make the spirit feel his pain. It can put an end to it. Stop his suffering. Make it end his pain. Now! He's gone now. Taken away. But there is still something you can do. You know who's responsible. You know who did this to him. True it! You can make him pay. Make him feel the pain he's inflicted upon others. Use the scales. You'll have your revenge. He'll suffer for what he's done.
Kadar, all in vain.
Then I will do what you could not. He will pay. They all will. You are my will made flesh. Look at me. I'm your wellspring and master. Obey me and heed no words but mine. Go now. Find him. Go!
Should we pursue her? She could be a great asset to us.
No. Leave her be. She has suffered enough, and our plans revolve around the One at this time.
So say the glyphs. Sometimes that which is written is read anew. Old eyes seeing clearly in a different light from a different angle, revealing truths long elusive and hidden. The glyphs encompass all, but understanding can be insufficient.
She leaves the city, whole yet with something missing, as the One who left us near his goal. Untouched yet not unchanged, their stories interweave and become as one.
So this is how it ends. Were we to know? Did the glyphs foretell it?
All is as it was written. The glyphs are unchanged, but now the veil has been lifted and we see what will come.